Hey guys, Shitbird here. I just want to talk about some stuff that's going on recently. And I hate government class in school. I really hate it. There's a girl in my school that doesn't know what 30 minus 5 is, or what 25 plus 5 is, and stuff like that. My teacher in CAD class asked her, "What's 30 minus 5?" and she said 15. And then he said, "What's 25 plus 5?" and she says, 10? And that fucking irritates me when people are that goddamn stupid. It really does. And government, I hate government class. And I hate the government. And I hate government class because I have to talk to people. I don't want to talk to people. People suck. And we've been doing this mock trial thing, going over it. I'm glad I'm not part of it. It's fucking retarded. Oh, by the way, you can do a la grenades if you have PhD flopper. You don't die if you overcook grenades. Just saying. Another thing I've been doing in my not economics government class, we just recently watched Food Inc. and I saw some stuff about Monsanto in there and all these farmers. So Monsanto had some employees that worked for him, and especially during the George Bush and Bill Clinton presidency, Monsanto was there was some money involved, and these presidents were supporting them, I guess. And also there were employees that worked for Monsanto. There's a black guy who became a Supreme Court justice, and a white guy who became the head of the FDA. And this black guy, he passed a bill that made it illegal for farmers to plant seeds from the plants that, like, okay, so the farmers bought seeds from Monsanto, so they're genetically modified, they're better, they produce better fruits, vegetables, and like corn and shit, 'cause everyone loves corn, I guess. It's one of the main ingredients in almost anything ever made. And so they plant this stuff, and it's illegal for them to replant the seeds from those foods. And if they do replant them, they can be fined lots of money. Their farm is shut down and shit like that. And another thing about 'cause they kill lots of animals when they're producing meat and shit for factories, and they release them. PETA likes animals, right? And so they like to protest these places like KFC and shit. What I don't get is why they would protest KFC. I would imagine, I don't know if this is true, but I would imagine KFC doesn't actually kill the animals. They just sell the fucking animals cooked. Like this, there are tons. The animals are like stored in not factories, but like warehouses and shit like that. And then they're just slaughtered, like, just destroyed. Like, I wonder how, like, let's just say, people would have multiple tactical nukes per game if they killed all these cows. And, so, why doesn't PETA go to these people that, like, there are just very few companies controlling all the food that's made out there. And, I don't get why PETA doesn't just protest those bitches. Because they're the ones killing all the animals. And another thing is, why, when money is involved, everything is, it's less illegal and more legal. Such as, Lindsay Lohan stole a necklace, but since she's a celebrity and has money, it's like the hardest fucking court case in the history of the fucking world. And when it's that black guy who killed his wife, O.J. Simpson, he was rich, I guess, so, I don't know. Like, so I think he almost got off? I don't know. But just because he has a celebrity and money, I guess the court case took longer than a normal murder case? I don't know. And Michael Vick, he had some dogfighting going on, so he went to prison. But, he went to prison, but these billion-dollar companies that kill thousands and thousands of cows, they don't go to prison. But just because there's money involved. And they sell like the majority of the food, and there's just not enough. There's not enough restriction. Like
I must fight my way through.
Capitalism has really gone to shit. I think I think capitalism needs more restrictions, because it's not good for the world. That's what I think.
Today you die.
So basically, all it's ever been since capitalism is the bigger guy gets bigger, the rich get richer, and everyone shits on the little guy. And I've also saw this thing on the news, not on TV but on Yahoo, because I don't watch TV, but I use the computer quite a bit. So there's this 95-year-old guy. He's a World War II veteran, and he just found out he was not born in the U.S. And he tried to get a driver's license or something, and he was threatened of deportation. They were going to get him out of the country, but you have all of these Mexicans and shit getting in illegally. But that's almost perfectly fine because you're getting cheap labor off of them. No, damn the 95-year-old World War II veteran who fought for his country, who fought because his government wanted to fight. And, well, actually, World War II? No. I don't know. Both, I guess. I don't know. You know, if Japan attacked my country, I'd probably want to fucking blow them up, too. And, they still haven't thanked us for those 2 gifts of Adam. So, yeah, well, he fought for his country, he fought for his government, and they threatened to deport him. But, you know, this bitch can go work at Home Depot for, like, 1/4 of the actual pay that anyone else would get. I mean, like, really? And now, I'm going to talk about Resistance 3, which I am excited for, sort of, kind of, maybe. So, Nathan Hale supposedly died at the end of the second game. He got his face blown apart by Joseph Capelli, who is the main character in Resistance 3. The game's not out yet. It comes out September 6th, I believe, of 2011. So that's basically, if I wasn't a senior, it would come out next year at right before the beginning of school. So, yeah. Because my school starts September, it ends in June, right before my birthday. And, so Resistance 3, I hope that somehow Hale survived a headshot, because, I mean, he was a fucking super freak. He had these crazy-ass powers, because he killed, the shepherd guy, which was like a floating head with tentacles and all this bullshit. And he had, like, telekinesis and shit, and he could talk to people in his, well, Shepard was talking to him in his mind, but some crazy crap happened. Hale gets shot by Capelli. The third Resistance comes along. Capelli's the new main character, and you're fighting in New York, which is my state for once. Awesome. I'm really excited about that. But then I saw this the multiplayer trailer, and basically, well, not multiplayer trailer. I guess it was maybe a trailer, but I don't know, it was just gameplay. I don't know why they didn't put the iron sights in. Like, they just have it, like, above the, I don't know, the gun, like, aims, but there's still, like, a little crosshair above the gun, not actually aiming down the sights. And I don't like what they did with some of the guns. It looks like they just changed the look of half the damn guns in the game. And so the first game, it takes place on, like, basically people are getting their ass kicked by the Chimera. And, so you scavenge weapons, and basically all the weapons are homemade versions of the actual things in the game. There's like a shotgun. There's the carbine. I don't know what it's called. It's the machine gun rifle thing you start with in the first game. It's in the second game, and yeah, they look kind of weird, I thought. And they also added kill streaks in the second game. There were berserks. You would get these by you would perform objectives, and it would fill up this little berserk meter. And then you could just press one of the D-pad buttons to activate it, and you could only have one of these. Like, there was a cloak, you just turned translucent for a little bit. And there was one, you know, there's one that sends out orbs in the sky and it shocks everyone's balls off. There's a few of them. So in multiplayer in Resistance 3, they added 3 different kill streaks, and each of these kill streaks is basically replacing the berserk function. So like a 3 kill streak, you can turn translucent and stuff like that. So I kind of like the idea of the kill streaks, but at the same time, I don't know how that's going to work. Like, I'd imagine a lot of people would use the cloak thing, especially if they can use it with other ones at the same time. Another thing I want to talk about is Call of Duty, because I like first-person shooters. And Call of Duty seems to be like the best one, sort of, maybe. I guess it's opinionated, because it is opinionated. And so Call of Duty, I'm probably gonna make another video of this sometime at one point in a long-ass time, you know, about other Call of Duty ideas, like an urban Call of Duty, like basically a modern-day shooter, but not actually war. It's more like SWAT teams, FBI stuff against drug lords and gangs and shit like that. And I think that'd be kind of neat. Sort of like Call of Juarez did. They basically, because that game was originally a Western, and I'm not sure if it's it's a new game, a full new game in modern times, and they're just, you know, bounty hunters against criminals and drug lords and shit like that. So I think it'd be neat to have a Call of Duty game, first-person shooter, and modern guns that are relevant to FBI agents and gangs and shit, like Tech 9s, AK-47s, M4 carbines, you know, stuff like that. You got the like tactical gear and shit. And now I'm going to talk about consoles. I hate when people bitch about consoles. They all do the same thing. One of them works better in one way, one of them works better in another, one of them doesn't do shit against the other. And it doesn't really matter. They're an entertainment purpose. There's no reason to get an elitist attitude towards someone who has a different fucking console than you. If I have a PlayStation 3, alright? That's fine. If you have an Xbox, I don't need to hear your fucking shit. Oh, your PS3 the fucking nigga. Well, then I would just reply, well, your Xbox a stupid cracker. And stuff like that. It doesn't matter, you know. If you say my system sucks, I'll say, well, at least Sony didn't release a damn product at a 33% fail rate. But hey, maybe that was better for Microsoft as a company, because they did end up fixing some of them. You know, you just send it to them. But if they didn't release it, if they would have delayed it, maybe they would have gotten less money. But in the long run, they would have actually had a finished fucking product. And overall, it could have been the most dominant console, which I think it has the most sales, but that doesn't mean it has to be the dominant console, because if it was the dominant console, then there would be no PS3, or very little of them, you know, like very little PS3 sales, very little Wii sales. But I mean, the Xbox was what, a few million more? I don't know, a few million more than the PS3? Big deal. Xbox is also cheaper. Well, it was when it came out. PS3 has a lot more hardware in it, that's for sure. And if you feel like hitting a console with a sledgehammer, if you don't want it to break, the PS3 is where you want to go. If you want good connections, I guess the Xbox is the way to go, but even a PS3 can have good connections. I mean, you know, I think it's just Call of Duty, because Call of Duty is a piece of shit on the PlayStation 3. It really is. Because they fucking just give these shitty-ass ports. I mean, Resistance 3, that game didn't have any fucking lag problems. Because I think they had dedicated servers, too. But, you know, when people compare the Xbox and the PS3, a lot of the YouTube community, or the Call of Duty community, they just compare Call of Duty on the consoles and say, the other console's shit because it can't support this game. Well, it's pretty much the developers who are fucking shitting on the console. I mean, it's harder to, the PS3 is harder to program for, and takes like, I think it takes like double the fucking memory or something in the console to actually play the same. And I'm just gonna finish this up right here. It's like, Why even give a damn if someone has a different console? I mean, if you had a Ford and someone had a Dodge or a Chevy, are you gonna go and bitch at him? Oh, you got a stupid Chevy. All Chevy drivers suck. You know, it's the same argument as, oh, PS3 players are bad. Well, they're not. You find a lot of shitty-ass retards on every system. And you can find a lot of Asian drivers in any type of car. So, you know, I wouldn't bitch to you what kind of sink or faucet you had. Like, well, or maybe even a vacuum cleaner. You know, well, he has a Dice, but that guy has a Gibson. I don't even know if a Gibson's a vacuum, but I think a Dyson is. There's like a Dyson ball or something. Oh man, your vacuum can spin in circles because it has a ball. What kind of bullshit is that? Are you a fucking ballerina? And you know, and then you have these Hoover vacuums. It's like, oh, you have a Hoover? Look at that fucking two-wheeled piece of shit. So there's just no need to be elitist about anything. The only thing that's okay to be elitist about is your country. If you live in America, awesome. If you live in Canada, cool. If you live in Australia, I don't know. That's not cool. That's not that cool. If you live in France, don't get into any wars because you're not gonna win. You know, if you live in the UK, awesome. You're our allies. You are awesome. You live across the pond. But most of the fucking British kids out there hate America, but they don't know why, and they think they do. And back in the 1700s and 1800s, they were the strongest military in the world, and they couldn't control a bunch of farmers. That's all I'm saying. And the French helped us. But guess who helped the French in World War II? After their country got carpet bombed by Germany, I think it was. Just saying. Bye, guys. Shitbird out.
Where's everyone else?